Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendricks Motorsports have been having a good season in NASCAR this year. Out of 11 races that have taken place in the championship, the JGR drivers have won 4 races and the HMS drivers have won 5. This season, both Toyota and Chevrolet cars seem to be the best out there. However, Joe Gibbs is not willing to forget about Ford, who are yet to win a race this season. Before the season started, Ford introduced their new Mustang Dark Horse, which will be run by their teams this season. The car was expected to have an immediate impact as it was designed to take advantage of the next-gen cars which were introduced in 2022. However, the result has been the opposite. The drivers behind the wheel of the Ford are finding it very difficult to win a race this season. After 11 races, Ford is sitting in last place in the Manufacturers' Championship with 363 points. Chevrolet is leading the championship with 406 points, with Toyota not far behind with 402 points. Although Ford is still lagging behind, Joe Gibbs thinks that Ford can make a comeback with 15 races to go. Here's what he said. "I definitely think there's other teams who are going to step up out there and make their presence felt. I think we have got off to a good start, Hendrick and us, but now I think this is very competitive, and that's what we'll see as we go forward. I also think about last year. We come down to the end. Fords have been off some, and they swept Phoenix, so that's how close this is." Last year, Ford finished last in the Manufacturers' Championship. However, during the final championship race, Ryan Blaney, driving the only Ford, was competing against Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Christopher Bell for the Cup Series title. Ryan Blaney finished second to take the title after a close battle with Kyle Larson. This year, Blaney is currently 7th in the points table without a race win. If he wants to guarantee a playoff spot for himself, he will need to win a race during the regular season. Otherwise, he will have to score enough points to qualify for the playoffs. And if you want to stay up to date on the news surrounding NASCAR, hit that subscribe button and enjoy. We'll take care of the rest. Following up on what Coach Gibbs said, here's what Denny Hamlin's crew chief, Chris Gabehart, said. "I know the coach has been a part of so many of these situations where, when you're on top at sports top level, everyone's shooting at you. I want it to last forever, and we will work our guts out to make sure it does. And we've had a great running as an 11 team over the years, but this is not permanent, and it'll end at some point. We're just going to work every week to try and keep it from ending." With 11 races completed, only 2 drivers have 3 race wins, Denny Hamlin and William Byron. There's no doubt that Toyota and Chevrolet are running on top of their current performance. This is mainly because of the problems Ford is facing with their Dark Horse model. When Ford first introduced their car, here's what they said. "It's been such a great car for us and a great icon for us since 1964, both as a road car and as a race car for that entire time." Mark Rushbrook, Global Director of Ford Performance Motorsports, told NASCAR.com in a teleconference, "When we as a company made the commitment to have a 7th generation Mustang for the road, we knew instantly in motorsports that that meant a new wave of Mustangs for us on the racetrack. When we switched from Fusion to Mustang in Cup in 2019, that was a big deal and something we've been very happy to see the success of that car. But now to be updating this Mustang in Cup to the 7th generation Mustang, and especially the new model with a Mustang Dark Horse, to really make a statement about what Mustang is as a road car, as a sports car, and as a race car at the highest level in NASCAR is important. And it gives us that opportunity to continue racing Mustang in front of great fans, on great racetracks, and to kind of wave the flag for the new Dark Horse version was important for us as well." One notable design on the car was the front nose. It had a much lower ground clearance than that of the Chevrolet and Toyota. This design was meant to stand out from the other 2 manufacturers to give them extra speeds on the short-circuit tracks. "Where you are within that box is still important," he said. "So repositioning as you can to truly optimize that. Every little bit of performance counts. But there's also a lot of performance that simply isn't characterized in that submission process of how the cars are truly racing on this variety of tracks, as well as trade-off decisions that are made in terms of drag versus downforce. It's hard to make improvements in both. We certainly did in this case. But in our 23 car, maybe some of our trade-offs weren't in the optimal place that you could see. We were really strong on super speedways, and that hurt the performance a little bit on the intermediate tracks. So being able to reposition where we are in the box is an important step for us, as well as optimizing some of the detailed racing conditions to make sure we're the most competitive in all those situations." Ford definitely had high hopes for their Dark Horse model. But after a series of disappointing performances, even Ford had to admit that there was a problem with the design. "It's definitely been a tough start to the season," said Mark Rushbrook, Global Director of Ford Performance Motorsports. "You can't deny that, and it's something our teams, our drivers, and all our engineers supporting them take very seriously. We've had some reasons to have confidence in terms of poles, but poles don't win races. I'm very confident as we've developed the Mustang Dark Horse with our teams that we have a better body this year than we did last year. It's better for drag. It's better for downforce. We also shifted the balance for it, but with those improvements, it's still new, and what we're all working through now is to make sure we're optimizing that potential. I think there are definitely some opportunities for us to really maximize that and ultimately translate into results." When NASCAR introduced the next-gen cars in 2022, a lot of experts predicted that the manufacturers would face some challenges. The Gen 7 car was designed by NASCAR to increase the level of downforce that is generated. In doing so, they've made the car more aerodynamically sensitive. Although this helps in faster lap times in street circuits, it does develop a new problem for classic NASCAR tracks. In this sport, the drivers rely on slipstreams and tire wear to increase the chances of overtakes. However, with the current aerodynamically sensitive cars, this proves to be even more challenging as they are more vulnerable to dirty air. When a car is facing dirty air, it usually starts vibrating more than usual, making it more difficult to control the car. This makes it incredibly challenging to stay behind a car long enough to gain momentum for an overtake. Due to Ford's unique design, the effect of dirty air is even worse in their cars. The lower ground clearance on the nose of the car has made it more reactive to dirty air. During the race in Talladega, Michael McDowell in the Ford was on the verge of winning the race. However, as he began the final lap, he became conscious of Keselowski catching up behind him. In an attempt to block his run for the lead, McDowell swayed right and left. As he did so, he lost control of the car and started a major pileup. Tyler Reddick in the Toyota went on to claim the race win after that dramatic ending. There's no doubt that Ford has a major flaw in their design. The team are currently working on fixing this issue and providing their teams with the best car possible to start winning races again. This could be challenging as Toyota and Chevrolet are around 40 points ahead of Ford. For the next race, the teams and drivers will be taking their cars to Kansas for the next superspeedway circuit on the calendar. These superspeedways provide Ford with the best opportunity to win a race. This will motivate all the Ford drivers to get back in the game. The car has shown a strong one-lap pace over the season. Their main issue comes in the race where they have to face dirty air as they attempt overtakes. If they're able to overcome this problem, we could see Ford get back into the championship fight against Toyota and Chevrolet. Do you think Ford can jump back and compete for race wins against Toyota and Chevrolet? Post your thoughts in the comment section below.